In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable wheat pennies you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, we have the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a large date and no mint mark. This coin is one of the most valuable and sought after in the entire series of Lincoln Wheat Pennies. But what makes this coin so special? Let's take a closer look at its history, design, and how it has found its place in the world of rare coins. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds a significant place in the history of American coinage. As it was minted during the critical years of World War II, the United States was fighting on multiple fronts, and this period marked a time of major changes in the economy, the military, and the national mindset. At this time, the U.S. Mint was facing material shortages, and copper, which was usually used in coin production, was needed for the war effort. This led to the temporary shift in the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a mix of 95% steel and 5% zinc, but that's a story for another day. In 1944, however, copper pennies returned, and the Lincoln Wheat Penny once again carried the familiar copper composition. But it wasn't just the composition that made the 1944 Wheat Penny notable. It was also the minting process. The large date version, in particular, is highly valued today, as it stands out against the small date variation produced in the same year. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The total mintage of 1944 pennies at Philadelphia was over 1 billion, but the large date version is much rarer than the small date variant. While exact numbers on the large date coins are hard to come by, it is widely believed that a significant percentage of the total 1944 pennies produced were the small date variety, leaving the large date variant with a somewhat lower production rate. In terms of market value, this coin has experienced fluctuations over the years, with its current auction value being quite high compared to its original face value of just 1 cent. The value of a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a large date in a dirty, circulated condition can range anywhere from $15,000 depending on factors like wear and tear, overall condition, and market demand. However, coins in better condition uncirculated or near mint can fetch significantly higher prices, sometimes reaching up to $30,000 or more in auctions. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a continuation of the iconic design introduced in 1909, the year of Abraham Lincoln's centennial birth. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. The famous artist Victor David Brenner designed this image, which has become one of the most recognizable coin portraits in American history. As for the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, it is not without its quirks. One of the most notable variations is the famous D over S error, where a D mint mark is overstruck on a S mint mark. These errors, while extremely rare, are highly prized by collectors. However, in the case of the 1944 no mint mark large date version, while not necessarily associated with an error, the coin does hold significant collector interest due to its historical context, mintage rarity, and connection to wartime production. Collectors often seek out this particular coin because of its connection to Lincoln and its role in helping to fund the war effort. Despite the widespread circulation of this coin in its time, finding one in decent condition today is a rarity. So, in conclusion, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the large date and no mint mark may seem like an ordinary coin to some, but it carries a rich history and significant value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin is one that should definitely be on your radar if you are looking for a piece of American numismatic history. Now, let's move on to our second coin of the day, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a large date and a D mint mark. This coin may be more modern compared to the 1944, but it's just as fascinating and holds a special place in the world of valuable coins. Let's dive into its history, market value, and why collectors are so keen on it today. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny marks the final year in the series before the design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, a design that would dominate American pennies for decades to come. During this time, the United States had recovered from the Second World War, and the economy was booming in the post-war era. The mint was producing more coins than ever before, and this period saw a significant shift in American society as the country entered the space age. The 1958 penny was minted at both the Denver and Philadelphia mints. The D mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver mint, which produced a substantial portion of the total mintage for that year. As for the coin's design, it is largely similar to the previous years, with the familiar portrait of Lincoln and the wheat stalks on the reverse. However, the 1958 coin holds a particular significance for collectors due to the large date version, which was produced in limited quantities compared to the more common small date version. The mintage of the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark is quite substantial, with over 1 billion coins being struck in that year. However, the large date version was rarer, and this has led to a spike in collector interest in this variant. The value of this penny in today's auction market can range depending on its condition. In a rusty, circulated condition, a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark may fetch anywhere from $10,000 at auction. However, if the coin is in better condition, it can easily exceed $10,000 to $12,000, and for coins in mint or near mint condition, the value can climb significantly higher, reaching up to $15,000 or more at high-end auctions. The design of the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny is consistent with the earlier designs of the series. The obverse showcases a left-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, which has been the signature design for the Lincoln cent since 1909. The reverse features two stalks of wheat framing the inscription, 1 cent, a symbol of the nation's agricultural roots. The large date version of this coin is distinguished by the larger numerals used in the date. This subtle change in design was a result of the mint trying to make the coins more legible during the minting process. While the small date is more common and often less valuable, the large date has been coveted by collectors for its rarity and aesthetic appeal. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny, especially with the D mint mark, does not have many major errors, but there are subtle differences in the way the coins were struck that have made it an interesting piece for numismatists. Most of the collector interest in this coin is focused on its status as a final year issue in the Wheat Penny series, its large date design, and the general fascination with coins from this transitional period in U.S. coinage history. As with many coins from this era, finding a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny in excellent condition is difficult, making it highly desirable for collectors who are looking to complete their sets of Lincoln cents. To wrap things up, the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark and large date is an excellent example of the final years of the Wheat Penny series. With its historical context, mintage, and collector appeal, this coin is a must-have for anyone serious about American coinage. Next up, the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny is one of those coins that holds a special place in numismatic history. Issued as part of the Lincoln Cent series, which was designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909, the Lincoln wheat penny is famous for its depiction of President Abraham Lincoln, who served as the 16th President of the United States. In 1935, the country was still recovering from the Great Depression, a period of immense financial turmoil that deeply affected the nation's economy. Despite the difficult economic climate, the United States Mint continued to produce pennies for circulation. The 1935 Lincoln wheat cent, in particular, had a mintage of approximately 164 million coins. While this number might seem high in comparison to some other rare coins, what makes this particular coin so valuable is its unique errors and the conditions under which it is found. In terms of mintage, the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny is not the rarest, but it holds significant value due to its errors and the fact that it has become a popular collectible. The coin was minted at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, with this particular coin being the D mint mark variety, which indicates it was struck in Denver. The 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, like all coins from this series, features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse front. Lincoln is portrayed in profile, facing left, with his name inscribed above. Surrounding him is the legend in God, we trust, a motto that was first used on U.S. coins in 1864. The year of mintage, 1935, is also placed below Lincoln's image, along with the mint mark D for Denver to the right. What makes the 1935 wheat penny even more remarkable is the presence of the mint mark D, which denotes its production in the Denver Mint. This mint mark was added to differentiate coins produced at various U.S. mint facilities, and it plays a key role in determining a coin's rarity and value in the collector's market. Now, one of the key features that has caused the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark to garner attention is its lamination error. For those unfamiliar with the term, a lamination error occurs when a thin layer of metal or a portion of the coin's surface fails to properly bond during the minting process. This creates an imperfection on the coin's surface, often resembling a small crack, peeling, or layer separation. Lamination errors are relatively rare, and depending on their severity can significantly increase the coin's value. In the case of the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark, the presence of such an error can increase the coin's desirability among collectors. If the lamination error is pronounced, the coin might even be classified as an error coin, which typically carries a higher price at auction due to its rarity and the uniqueness of the flaw. Now, let's talk about the market value. The 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, especially with the D mint mark and a noticeable lamination error, can fetch some impressive prices at auction. While the uncirculated versions of this coin in pristine condition may generally be worth around $50,000, a 1935 wheat penny with the D mint mark and a significant lamination error can easily see values climbing into the range of $55,000 or even more, depending on the extent of the error and the condition of the coin. In top-tier auction houses, such a coin can easily reach higher valuations, particularly if it is graded by professional numismatic organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or the Professional Coin Grading Service. A certified error coin with a lamination defect can attract bids from eager collectors, sometimes fetching several thousands dollars. As is the case with most coins, the value of the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny fluctuates depending on its rarity, condition, and the specific error present. However, the lamination error adds an extra layer of desirability, and for collectors who focus on error coins, this particular piece is a must-have. The collector interest in the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny is strong, and the inclusion of an error like the lamination defect only amplifies its appeal. Error coins, especially those with visible and striking flaws, often have a cult following. They are highly sought after by collectors who specialize in minting errors, as these types of coins are both historically significant and one of a kind. Collectors tend to focus not just on the rarity of a coin, but on its unique features. With lamination errors being relatively uncommon, any coin that exhibits one is likely to be viewed as an anomaly, and thus it gains greater attention in numismatic circles. Many collectors also value coins from the Lincoln wheat series. For their historical context, the 1935 penny is an excellent representation of this period in U.S. history. A coin that is both rare and features an interesting error offers a unique opportunity to own a piece of history that stands out in a collection. Next up is the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny. The 1956 penny marks a transitional point in the history of the Lincoln cent, as it was one of the last years in which the classic wheat reverse design was used before the switch to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The coin features the classic obverse of Abraham Lincoln, but what sets this coin apart from others is its large date variety and the fact that it was minted without a mint mark. In 1956, the United States Mint produced approximately 1.1 billion pennies, with the vast majority of these coins being minted without a mint mark. This was a year when the Philadelphia Mint produced most of the coins, and unlike coins from other years, the 1956 penny did not have a D or S mint mark. However, it's the large date variety that draws the most interest from collectors. A distinguishing feature of the 1956 penny is the size of the numbers in the date. During the year, two different die varieties were used, a large date and a small date. The large date variety, which is more common, has the numbers in the date significantly larger than those in the small date version. This simple distinction has led to the large-date 1956 Lincoln penny becoming one of the more sought-after coins from the series. On the obverse, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny retains the signature portrait of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner. It's one of the most recognizable images in American coinage, with Lincoln depicted in profile, his iconic beard and top hat unmistakable. The reverse side still features the wheat ears framing the 1 cent denomination, just like the other coins in the series. The simplicity and beauty of the wheat design are what make this coin so attractive to collectors, along with its historical connection to a particular moment in U.S. history. The coin we're discussing today is in circulated fine condition. A fine grade means that the coin shows moderate wear, but all of the major details, including Lincoln's features and the wheat stalks, are still visible. In a fine condition 1956 penny, you might notice some light to moderate scratches, but it still remains a valuable and collectible coin. The 1956 Lincoln wheat penny, in its large date variety and in circulated fine condition, is a relatively affordable coin for many collectors. Typically, you can find these coins selling for anywhere between $8,000 depending on the specific condition and any minor errors or variations. However, there are instances where a 1956 penny in fine condition can fetch a bit more at auction, especially if it has been well preserved or if it is graded by a respected organization like PCGS or NGC. It's important to note that while this coin is relatively common compared to other rarer pennies, the large date variety can still draw some attention from collectors who specialize in Lincoln wheat pennies. Coins in excellent condition, or those that stand out in some other way, such as unique errors, will certainly command higher prices at auction. While the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny might not have the same level of high-value appeal as other rarer coins, it is still a highly collectible piece. For enthusiasts of the Lincoln series, especially those interested in the design and history of the coinage from the early 20th century, this penny is a key piece. The large date variety is a notable distinction, and collectors who focus on these variations are often willing to pay a little more for one in good condition. Moreover, as part of the overall Lincoln wheat penny series, the 1956 coin is highly desirable to those seeking to complete their collection of coins from this iconic period in American history. Next up, the 1944 D wheat penny is a rare and valuable coin in today's market. But before we dive into the specifics of its value, let's take a look at the historical context behind this coin. The Lincoln wheat cent, first introduced in 1909, was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner and featured a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. This coin became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. In 1944, America was in the middle of World War II, and the U.S. Mint was working at full capacity to produce coins for circulation while also supporting the war effort. As a result, the coinage produced in 1944 holds significant historical value. The 1944 D wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which had ramped up production to meet the demand. Notably, 1944 was a transition year in U.S. coinage, as copper used in minting pennies was replaced with zinc-coated steel during the war years to conserve copper for military uses. By 1944, however, copper was once again used in pennies, and the distinctive copper coin with a D mint mark became a sought-after collectible. The mintage of the 1944 D wheat penny was substantial, with over 430 million coins being struck in Denver. Despite its large mintage, this coin has become a favorite among collectors due to its historical context, design, and the scarcity of well-preserved examples in good condition. While the 1944 D wheat penny had an impressive mintage with over 430 million coins produced, it's essential to remember that not all of these coins were preserved in top condition. As you may know, a coin's value is significantly impacted by its rarity and condition. A coin like the 1944 D in good condition can command a far higher price than one that is heavily worn or damaged. This is why the value of the 1944 D wheat penny in good condition remains relatively high in today's auction market. The 1944 D wheat penny was widely circulated, and most examples show wear and tear from years of use. However, coins in good condition, meaning they show moderate signs of wear but retain clear details, are much rarer. These coins have been well preserved and are often sought after by collectors who want to add a piece of history to their collection. So, what's the current value of the 1944 D wheat penny in good condition? Depending on the specific auction or sale, the value of a 1944 D wheat penny in good condition can range anywhere from $93,000. However, coins in better conditions, such as those graded by professional numismatic grading services like NGC or PCGS, can see their values skyrocket. For example, a coin in fine or extremely fine condition can fetch upwards of $95,000, and a gem uncirculated example could even see values well above $100,000. What sets the 1944 D penny apart from other years is the prominent D mint mark found just to the right of the date. This mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is one of the U.S. Mint's primary coin production facilities. The mint mark gives the coin a unique identity and helps collectors differentiate it from other pennies struck in the same year, but at different mints. Now, let's talk about any errors or interesting variations that make this coin even more valuable. While the 1944 D wheat penny is generally known for its strong design and quality, there are some errors that make certain examples much more valuable. The most common error associated with the 1944 D penny is the 1944 D over D mint mark variety, which occurs when the mint accidentally struck a second D mint mark over the first. This error can add significant value to a coin. In addition to errors, there is also an intense collector interest in the 1944 D penny because of its historical significance during World War II. Many collectors are passionate about acquiring coins that were struck during wartime, especially when they feature the iconic design of Abraham Lincoln. The 1944 D wheat penny holds an important place in the history of U.S. coinage, and its value continues to grow due to its historical context, the demand from collectors, and its relatively low availability in pristine condition. Moving on to the second coin of the day, the 1924 wheat penny without a mint mark, but with an incredibly unique condition. It features a rusty laminated error that sets it apart from typical examples of the coin. The 1924 Lincoln wheat penny was struck during the early years of the Great Depression, a time of significant economic turmoil in the United States. The coin was part of the ongoing series introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. While the design remained the same throughout the 1920s, the 1924 wheat penny has some unique features that make it stand out, especially among error coins. It was struck without a mint mark, meaning it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. At the time, the mint mark was used to distinguish coins produced at different mints, and coins without a mint mark were often thought of as the default for the Philadelphia Mint. However, what makes this coin particularly valuable today is the severe rusty lamination error that occurred during its production. The 1924 Lincoln wheat penny saw a mintage of around 83 million coins, a relatively high number for that era. While this may seem like a large amount, many of these coins have been lost or degraded over time, and examples in good or uncirculated condition are far rarer than one might think. It's the combination of this high mintage with the rarity of well-preserved specimens that creates such strong demand for the 1924 penny in various conditions. However, when we add the lamination error to the equation, the scarcity becomes even more pronounced. Coins with lamination errors are much harder to find, especially ones that also display significant rust or other visual issues that add to their uniqueness and desirability among error coin collectors. The market value of a 1924 wheat penny, in poor condition with a lamination error and rust, can range from $59,000 depending on the severity of the error and the overall appearance of the coin. However, when you find a 1924 penny with an error in good or excellent condition, especially with unique features like rust, collectors are willing to pay a premium. Some auction results have shown that a 1924 penny with a lamination error could fetch upwards of $85,000 or more, depending on the quality and rarity of the example. These coins are highly sought after by collectors of error coins and can be a fascinating addition to a collection, especially for those focused on rare and unusual pieces. The rust and lamination error on this particular coin, however, make it visually unique. Lamination errors occur when the layers of metal used in the minting process don't bond properly, leading to defects in the coin's surface. When combined with rust, which typically occurs when a coin is exposed to moisture or other elements, the result is a coin that looks markedly different from any typical 1924 penny. Collectors who specialize in error coins find these types of issues particularly intriguing. The most significant error on this coin is the lamination flaw, which causes portions of the coin's surface to peel or bubble. When rust is introduced, it adds an additional layer of imperfection that makes this penny one of a kind. Collectors who specialize in error coins are often willing to pay a premium for coins like this, as they are truly one of a kind in the coin world. The 1924 penny, with its rusty lamination error, is a prime example of why error coins are so valuable. These coins tell a story. They capture a unique moment in the production of U.S. currency, and they become an integral part of the numismatic landscape. Next up, let's talk about the 1955 large-date wheat penny, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike due to its extraordinary rarity. This is a piece of American history that is more than just a penny. It's an essential chapter in the story of U.S. coinage. Let's take a step back and explore the origins of this coin and why it is one of the most valuable in today's market. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted during a time of economic transition in the United States. Following the end of World War II, the U.S. was entering an era of prosperity, but also of significant change in the world of coinage. The Wheat Penny series, which was first introduced in 1909, had undergone several changes over the years. In 1955, the series was nearing its end as the design was set to be replaced in the coming years by the Lincoln Memorial Penny in 1959. However, what truly made the 1955 coin stand out was a peculiar error that has created a massive buzz among collectors. The total mintage of the 1955 wheat penny, at over 1 billion coins, would normally indicate a coin with low value due to its abundance. However, the real intrigue lies in a specific variety within this series, the large date error. This error was created when a variety of minting issues occurred at the U.S. Mint, leading to a significant distinction between the large date and small date versions of the 1955 penny. While the Mint issued millions of regular 1955 pennies, only a small fraction exhibited the large date. The rarity of the large date variety is compounded by the fact that these coins were often circulated heavily, making high-quality specimens extremely rare. Therefore, despite the large mintage, the large date version is one of the most sought-after pennies in numismatic circles. The 1955 wheat penny showcases the classic design of the series, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse, or front, of the coin displays Lincoln's image and profile, with the inscription "Liberty" to the left and the year 1955 beneath his bust. On the reverse, you'll find two stalks of wheat framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, a design that has come to symbolize the farming and agricultural history of America. The distinguishing feature of the 1955 large date error is the difference in the size of the digits in the year. The large date has larger, more prominent digits compared to the small date variety, which had much smaller, tighter digits. This variation has made the 1955 large date penny a focus of intense collector interest, and it has made high-grade examples a prized commodity. The 1955 large date error was a result of the mint using two different dies for striking the coins, which led to the distinct differences in the size of the numbers in the year. This is what collectors refer to as a die variety. While the U.S. Mint quickly corrected this error, thousands of these large date coins had already been released into circulation. The true allure of this coin lies in the fact that only a very small number of these large date wheat pennies exist in good condition today. The vast majority were heavily circulated, making coins in mint state extremely rare. In terms of value, the 1955 large date without a mint mark can range from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on its grade and condition. For example, a well-preserved specimen in MS 65 or higher can fetch upwards of $20,000 in the auction market today. The auction market has proven that the 1955 large date is an investment that appreciates over time as collectors continue to seek out this unique error coin. As we transition to the current market, the 1955 large date wheat penny continues to command premium prices. In fact, high-graded examples have been sold at auction for record-breaking amounts. For instance, a specimen graded MS65 Plus by PCGS fetched an astounding $24,000 at a 2022 auction. This speaks volumes about the immense interest and demand among serious collectors. What makes this coin even more intriguing is its relatively modest initial face value, just 1 cent. It's a prime example of how errors and scarcity can dramatically increase the value of a coin. And if you happen to come across one of these pennies in your pocket change, it's well worth taking a closer look before spending it. Next up, let's turn our attention to the 1927 wheat penny with the D mint mark. While this coin may not have the same level of fame as the 1955 large date, it is just as valuable and holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. The 1927 wheat penny with the D mint mark is another example of a seemingly humble coin that has captured the interest of numismatists for its scarcity and historical context. The year 1927 was an important one in American history, falling in the middle of the Roaring Twenties, a time of rapid economic growth, cultural transformation, and the lead-up to the Great Depression. While the economy was thriving, there were still significant challenges in the U.S. coinage system. The 1927 wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which produced a smaller number of coins compared to its counterparts in Philadelphia and San Francisco. As a result, the Denver minted pennies are more sought after due to their rarity. Unlike the massive mintage of the 1955 large date, the 1927 D wheat penny had a much more limited mintage, making it inherently rarer. The total mintage of the 1927 D wheat penny was just over 70 million, far fewer than many other years in the series. While this number may sound large, considering the many years of circulation and the passage of time, the number of well-preserved examples is remarkably low. The scarcity of the 1927 D penny, combined with the fact that it was issued during a key period in American history, has made this coin one of the most collectible pennies among enthusiasts. Its value continues to climb, as more collectors vie for an opportunity to add this piece to their collections. Like the 1955 wheat penny, the 1927 D penny features the classic wheat design with the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse of the coin showcases the famous wheat ears design that has become iconic in American coinage. The most notable feature of the 1927 D is, of course, the mint mark D, indicating that it was minted in Denver, as opposed to the more common Philadelphia minted pennies, which do not have a mint mark. While the 1927 D wheat penny does not carry the same level of notoriety as the 1955 large date, it is still highly sought after for its rarity and the fact that coins from the Denver Mint are typically more difficult to find in good condition. There is no major error associated with the 1927 D wheat penny, but its rarity is more than enough to ensure that it remains a top target for collectors. Today, the value of a 1927 D wheat penny can vary significantly based on its condition. In circulated condition, these pennies may be worth anywhere from $60,000. However, in higher grades, the price can jump dramatically. A coin in uncirculated MS65 or higher can fetch anywhere from $100,500 depending on its exact condition and the auction environment. Thanks for joining us today on Valuable Coins. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth looks at rare and valuable coins. And, as always, keep your eyes peeled for that next gem you might stumble upon in your coin searches.